Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the viewers of The Hindu. We are doing a special podcast here on The Hindu from Maharashtra, and I'm joining you. I'm Vinaya Deshpande Pandit. I'm joining you from Mumbai, the financial capital of the country and the capital of Maharashtra, on a day which is extremely crucial for the state. The second largest state in the country, Maharashtra, goes to polls today in a single phase, which means that from 7 o'clock in the morning, the crores of voters of Maharashtra have started voting and have started giving in their mandate for the 288 seats of Vidhan Sabha, that is the state legislative assembly across the state. The polling will continue till 6 p.m. today. What's the scene on the ground? What have our field reports been till now? Our reporters have spread themselves across the length and breadth of the state through the last few days, and they bring with themselves a mine of wisdom with respect to what are the issues that dominated during this election, what is the discourse, and what were their experiences when they did their field reporting. So from Vidarbha to Marathwada to Western Maharashtra to the coastal city of Mumbai, we have reporters getting us all the reports. But today, let us first go and join them to understand what the sense on the ground is. And I am first joined in by Snehal Mutha, who is joining us from Vadala and who has with her some voters who have already voted and cast their ballot. Snehal, from where are you joining us and what is the scene like there?
So, hi, I'm Snehal. Right now, I am in Vadala constituency. I am at Sitaram Prakash High School booth. So, here almost 40% of Vadala citizens has voted already. By 23 November, we'll be getting the verdict on it. Today, right now, what is the situation at ground? So, we have voters with us. So we'll go to them and we'll speak what exactly has been their experience given all the equations in Maharashtra right now. So we have with us, one second, I just need to. Okay. So we have with a very senior citizen who has come here and thought of voting by himself, like instead of using any utilities, like the special arrangements made for them. So, sir, what has been your experience? आपका अब तक का experience कैसे रहा है? And आपको क्यों लगा कि आपको यहाँ आके वोट देना चाहिए?
हाँ, हर एक आदमी को तो वोट देना ही चाहिए और बूथ पे आके वोट देना वो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है। मैं इधर इसलिए आया कि सब बराबर चल रहा है कि नहीं। फ्यूचर गवर्नमेंट आल्सो विल लुक आफ्टर दिस एवरीथिंग, so it should be a very nice way to handle it, and these people are very good handling, very good.
Sir,
Thank
so
you.
आप यहाँ के core issues आपको क्या है? Sir, would you like to speak on that? What do you think? What is the core issues of?
See, the core issue is like that cleanliness, infrastructure, all these things should be done very much. So, being from a forum, Vadala West Citizen Forum, so that's what we have done since morning, and we had make sure we should increase the voting rate. So, from morning we have kept two taxis to get the people down, and we have called everyone that make sure that you please come and do voting time to time.
Sir, would you like to speak about what do you think? How's the area? जैसे वो कहते हैं ना election का माहौल. So how do you think? What are the talking points? Mahavikas Aghadi has been talking and Mahayuti has been talking. So please, can you put some light, your opinion on it?
What opinion actually you want?
Your personal opinion, how you look at these parties?
Any
Alliances.
any party comes, our whatever is our problem. Basically, we don't have any major problem, but they should be in such a way that they should be able to handle it and they should find a solution to it. It's not regarding who forms the government or which person becomes the chief minister of any party. Our thing is the area should be neat and clean, and the issue should be initiated should be immediately solved. It has to be taken care.
So
Snehal,
this
if you can please ask the senior citizen gentleman there, has he used any of the facilities while approaching the voting center? How convenient was it for him? Because there are several senior citizens across the city of Mumbai. So let's get the perspective from a senior citizen about how easy was it for him to access the entire voting procedure, to come and access the booth and cast his vote, and what is his appeal to other senior citizens today?
यस श्योर श्योर सो सर आपके लिए कितना कन्वीनियंट था यहाँ पे आना और लाइक आप सीनियर सिटीजन हो विद ऑल द फैसिलिटीज आपके लिए कितना कन्वीनियंट था कितना इजी था या फिर आपकी किसने मदद की यहाँ तक आपको ये स्मूथली आपका जो राइट ऑफ वोटिंग है उसको एग्जीक्यूट करने में
बहुत ही अच्छा मदद किया सब लोगों ने। वडाला में मैं रहता हूँ, तो अभी चलने का जरा टाइम बहुत लगता है। इधर जहाँ से हम रहते हो इधर तक आते तो 20-25 मिनट लग जाता है। वो लोग ने टैक्सी मेरे लिए भेजा, बहुत ही अच्छा काम किया। वी आर थैंकफुल फॉर हिम। एंड हियर ऑल्सो द एवरीथिंग वाज इन प्रॉपर ऑर्डर।
So, like, what proper order would you like?
Means to go into your center, have there to be shown everything, whatever requirement, that is also seen, and immediately they have done it. That is the main thing. Won't take too much time, even. And yeah, I have voted accordingly.
So,
What is his age? What is his name? And how long did it take for him to cast his vote?
सर आपका नाम क्या है
मेरा नाम कांतिलाल चुनीलाल शाह है. I am about 92 years old.
So he is 92 years old, and he thought that to exercise his voting rights, he thought of coming here at the booth instead of sitting on taking the facilities whatever
Snehal, yeah, if you can ask him, how long did it take for him since the time he entered the booth till the time he cast his vote?
सर आपको कितना समय लगा आपके यहाँ से आने के लिए यहाँ पे आने के बाद और आपका वोट होने तक कितना समय लगा आपको
आने के लिए जितना टाइम लगा उससे कम टाइम में वोटिंग हो गया सिस्टर. आने के लिए 5-7 मिनट लगा, 3 मिनट में वोटिंग हो गया.
So it took him only 3 minutes to vote. Like it took him or at least 7 minutes to come from his home, and it took another 3 minutes to vote here. So in total 10 minutes.
That's That's a very interesting perspective, Snehal. Thank you for getting that voice. A 92-year-old in a city like Mumbai, which is always, thought to be that place which is notorious for low level of voting. The voting percentage from Mumbai is typically always bad. Here we see a 92-year-old who has taken a cab to be at the polling station, who has exercised his right to vote and is appealing to others. That's an interesting voice to get, Snehal. Thank you for doing that for us. And now we would like to speak with you because you have yourself traveled through this election season. You have traveled across Marathwada, gone through the constituencies, looked at the Maratha agitation. What is the kind of impact that Maratha reservation issue has had on the entire electoral politics in Maharashtra? What are the three main points that you would like to tell the viewers today about your experiences from ground zero Marathwada?
So obviously, the Maratha agitation is right now a bigger factor in Marathwada. Zarange factor is definitely going to work. In some constituencies, people are more of that it won't work because OBC votes have consolidated. That is what the perspective is from ground. But at the same time, when you go into Maratha community, because of soya bean and cotton and all those agrarian crises, you could also see that Maratha Zaranga factor and the agrarian crisis in a way have consolidated. So people are not looking at in some constituencies people are not looking it purely from a perspective of Maratha agitation or OBC consolidation. Somewhere it is coming together. The agrarian crisis as well as Maratha factor both are coming together. So that might also impact uh, on how the alliances are being voted or who comes into the power. So that will definitely shape the opinion of people who are voting today. So that is the first point. Another point is Ladki Bahin. Definitely, it has made some impact on ground, but women in a way are more educated. That is what I sensed. That women are like की, to speak in their local dialect की तुम्ही आम्हाला 1500 देता आहात पण आमचे तुम्ही 4000 3000 सोयाबीन मध्ये मारतात सो दॅट इज द काइंड ऑफ अ कॉन्ट्रास्ट दे हॅव बीन स्पीकिंग अबाउट अँड women are more I feel they are more activated like this election it has been crazy for them because it feels like in a way Mahayuti with all this Ladki Bahin Yojana schemes and everything they in a way have empowered them that okay you are a very active member of the elections. So, in a way, the women are also now कि हमें लाड़की बहन नहीं चाहिए, just give आमच्या शेतमालाला भाव द्या. So that is what they have been speaking about. So that kind of anger you can see that very visible in women, and also because of all these freebie schemes, the fabric of the economic fabric has also disturbed in somewhere because people are complaining that we don't have.
Well, if we
Uh,
may request you to stand at a particular place where the sunlight is coming on you and keep the camera steady, that will be great.
okay.
Yes, yes. If you can continue. Yes, this is great. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. So, in a way, women are much more educated and they are not that much in favor of Ladki Bahin as much as they are asking for the Hami Bhav MSP for their producers. So, that was a second issue. And third issue, obviously, that was more of uh, the caste dynamics there, and also the generational candidates being there. Like for Parli, it is Agriculture Minister Dhananjay Munde. Then you go to Nanded, there is Ashok Chavan and his daughter. So that thing is there. People have very much their local connect. So that will also be a deciding factor, like who people prefer locally instead of looking on a larger perspective. So these are the three issues which I sensed in Marathwada overall.
That's a wonderful perspective, Snehal. Thank you so much for getting us the ground report from Marathwada. What does the election look like from Marathwada? And thank you for getting us those voices from Vadala. Extremely interesting voter profile there. A 92-year-old. Well, kudos. Thank you. And now moving ahead, let's go to another reporter of ours who has been traveling across the length and breadth of Vidarbha. Now, remember, Vidarbha is that bellwether region which has always been instrumental in deciding which party or which alliance comes to power. Of the 62 seats that are there in Vidarbha, the parties which are able to get the maximum number of seats are typically the parties which have been able to form the government at the state level. And that is why this profiling, this understanding of Vidarbha region will probably be a lot more crucial in this perspective. Let me now go to Abhinay Deshpande, my colleague who's joining me from Kulaba. He's outside a polling station. Abhinay, any luck? Mumbai is typically the
No,
city
not at
that does
all.
not have great voter
No,
turnout.
no. It has surprisingly, it has 33% voter turnout. But now at this point, I can't find anyone. But yeah, luckily I can find someone. I'll just turn the camera around him and we'll talk to him. भैया काय नाव आहे आपला?
मंगेश सालवे.
कसं वाटतंय तुमचं पोलिंगचं?
या ठिकाणी खूप स्लोली इलेक्शन चालू आहे.
ओके.
बऱ्याचपैकी असे मतदार खाली म्हणजे उतरलेले आहेत.
हेला बोला. हां.
बऱ्याचशा ठिकाणी, कारण ह्या ठिकाणी खूप स्लोली मतदान चालू आहे आणि बरेचसे मतदार इकडे आलेले नाही आहेत मतदान करण्यासाठी, आणि बरेचसे मतदार आहेत ते ह्यातून इथून ट्रान्सफर झालेले आहेत.
कशाला म्हणजे कुठलं कसं ट्रान्सफर झालेलं आहे?
ट्रान्सफर म्हणजे कोणी म्हणजे कोण घरं विकून गेलेले आहेत, काही जणांनी ट्रान्सफर झालेले आहेत, काही लोकांनी नवी मुंबई असो, विरार असो, या ठिकाणी बरेचसे मतदार ट्रान्सफर झालेले आहेत. अशी पद्धत.
तुम्ही मतदान इथेच केलं?
Is there
हो,
any
आमचं
way
मतदार
how we
इकडेच
can
आहे.
speak
आम्ही
in
केलेलं आहे
Hindi or
बघा.
in English,
आम्ही
Abhinay?
योग्य ठिकाणी मतदान केलेलं आहे.
हिंदीमध्ये बोलणार आपण?
हाँ.
हिंदीमध्ये बोला ना. काय वाटतं म्हणजे आता सकाळपासून कसं मतदान झालं काय?
देखिए ये जो बूथ है यहाँ बूथ है, यहाँ पे ज्यादा सिर्फ इतना ऐसा जितना चाहिए वैसी वोटिंग हुई नहीं है.
सलीम भाई आप बात
ज्यादातर वहाँ पे वोटिंग हुई नहीं, कि बहुत सारे वोटर जो है यहाँ से ट्रांसफर हो चुके हैं और ज्यादा वोट यहाँ पे हुआ नहीं, जैसा हर टाइम में होता था उस हिसाब से हुआ नहीं है.
अच्छा, आप
लेकिन
अभी
क्या फैक्टर्स है ऐसा लगता है उनको?
आपको क्या लगता है इश्यूज क्या है? लोड क्यों है? आपको मेजर इश्यूज क्या है ये इलेक्शन में? क्या
मेजर
मुद्दे लग रहे
इश्यूज
हैं?
ये है कि ट्रांसफर हुए वोट्स
नाही
और
वो नाही.
लोगों को
मतदान कोणत्या विषयावर लोक टाकायला जातात मतदान? तुम्ही कोणत्या?
अभी देखो जो मतदार है वो कंफ्यूज हुआ है, जो राजनीति की पूरी धज्जियां उड़ चुकी है. कोई कहा जाए, कोई कहा जा रहा है. इसकी वजह से ना लोगों को थोड़ा सा तकलीफ है कि हम किसको वोट दें. इससे अच्छा हम लोग वोट ही ना तो अच्छा है. इस बारे में ये भी लोगों की समस्या हो सकती है वोट देने की.
मतलब ये तो एक हाई प्रोफाइल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी है. यहाँ से स्पीकर आमदार रह चुके हैं राहुल नार्वेकर जी. तो आपको तो क्या लगता है?
देखो, राहुल नार्वेकर जी यहाँ पे के आमदार रह चुके हैं और यहाँ स्पीकर है और कुलाबा के है, और ज्यादातर ये जो कुलाबा है ये कांग्रेस सी कुलाबा था. यहाँ के मिलिंद देवराय थे, अनिश शेखर थी. अभी बहुत सालों के बाद कुलाबा को एक कांग्रेस का उम्मीदवार मिला है, तो लोगों को लोग चाह रहे कि हमारा जो पहले के दिन है वो हम लोग लाना चाहते हैं। इस तरह से भी हो सकता है, कुछ बता नहीं सकते, कुछ भी हो सकता है।
ओके, आप कौन से मुद्दे पे, मेजर मुद्दे पे आप वोट डाले हैं? आपको क्या समस्या है?
देखो
क्या ये 5 साल में आपको
ये
राजनीति का छोड़ के सिविक इश्यूज में क्या समस्या है आपको?
देखो इशू राजनीतिक सबसे बड़ा इशू है, क्योंकि ये जो अभी पार्टियां चोरी हुई है वो मुद्दा है। अपने पास जो कायदा व्यवस्था है वो भी अच्छी बराबर से नहीं चल रही, और बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम है। इस प्रॉब्लम को देख के हम लोग ने भी एक जो मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, जो समता जो सामाजिक लेवल पे काम कर रहा है, उस हिसाब से हम लोग ने भी वोट डाला है।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू। नाउ वी हैव विद अस मिस्टर सलीम। सलीम जी, आप आपने अभी वोट डाल के आया है। मैंने आपको अभी पोलिंग स्टेशन जाने से पहले मैंने आपसे बात किया था, तो आप क्या मुद्दे पे वोट डाले हो? तो क्या लगता है आपको, वोटिंग गए जब आप अकेले थे या स्टेशन में, कैसा था आपका?
हाँ नहीं, इधर ये कुलाबा अपना साउथ बॉम्बे में जो है
हाँ जी।
थोड़ा क्राउड तो कम। अभी कुलाबा में क्या होता है, साउथ बॉम्बे या फोर्ट कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में तो इतना क्राउड रहता नहीं है।
आप यहाँ के वोटर हो पहले से?
हाँ नहीं, मैं पहले से ही कुलाबा का ही वोटर
तो
हूँ।
आप पहली बार जब वोट डाले थे तो अभी कोई आपका
देखो अभी है ना, मेन जो है अभी जैसे अभी आपने नाम बोला सलीम शेख, अभी हम लोग को तो मेन क्या है, मतलब मुझको या सबको, आम आदमी को क्या है, वो अपना रोजी रोटी की टेंशन में रहता है। उसको खाली है ना पॉलिटिशियन से खाली ये चाहिए कि उन लोग है ना कंट्री को, सिटी को, एरिया को पीसफुल रखे, और कुछ नहीं करेगा ना तो वो भी काफी है। एटलीस्ट जो भी है, मेन जो चीज है कि मतलब जो भी कंट्री है, हर सिटी है, हर एरिया है, वो पीसफुल रहना चाहिए। और कोई भी जो है एक दूसरे से, कोई भी कास्ट रिलीजन का हुए, क्रिश्चियन, सिख, अपना जो भी है लोकल आउटसाइडर, वो ट्रांसपोर्ट ट्रैवल करे, ट्रेन में, बस में, टैक्सी में, वो डरे नहीं। और बाकी वो तो अपना जो भी है, जिसका नसीब का होगा वो अपना मेहनत करके, काम करके कुछ कमाएगा, खाएगा। मेन जो है, जो भी पार्टी पावर में रहे, स्टेट में या कहीं पे भी, उसको सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करना चाहिए टू एवरी सिटीजन, ऑल प्लेसेस ऑफ रिलीजियस, सबका जो है बस वो चीज करे ना, उतना ही काफी है। और उतनी ही ड्यूटी अगर पॉलिटिशियन लोग ने कर दिया ना तो सिटीजन के लिए बहुत है। भले और कोई फैसिलिटी देते हैं तो बोनस है, अगर नहीं भी देते तो सिक्योरिटी पीसफुल कर देवे, उतना ही काफी है।
तो कोलाबा एक ऐसा कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी है जहाँ पे हमेशा वोटर टर्नआउट बहुत कम होता है। अपने लोकसभा में भी देखा था, अभी भी अपन देख रहे हैं, अभी सिर्फ 33% है। तो आप तो कोलाबा के निवासी रह चुके हैं, तो आपको क्या बोलते हो, एक बताइए, पिक्चर दीजिए कि पहले कैसा लगता था कोलाबा में पोलिंग, अभी कैसा हो रहा है?
ये होता है कि कुलाबा में क्या है कि अभी बहुत साल से ये पूरा टूरिस्ट प्लेस हो गया है, कमर्शियल हो गया है। तो यहाँ के जो रेसिडेंट्स है, सब लोग का जैसे जो भी अपना छोटा छोटा रूम था, यहाँ से बेच के सब सबब में, सेंट्रल लाइन, वेस्टर्न लाइन, हार्बर में किसी ने 1 रूम किचन, 2 रूम किचन फ्लैट ले लिया है। तो ये जैसा टूरिस्ट प्लेस कमर्शियल हो गया, तो रेसिडेंट्स अभी बहुत कम हो गया है। और वो लोग भी कोई फॉरेन में है, ऐसे है इधर, जैसे जो अपना क्रिश्चियंस है, मोमेडन्स है, पारसी है, वो तो बहुत से लोग फॉरेन में है।
कोलाबा
और
को अपन गंगा जमुना तहजीब भी बुलाते हैं सर, यहाँ पे कोई कम्युनल इश्यूज नहीं होते हैं।
एक कुलाबा का प्लस पॉइंट है कि इधर सब जन मिलजुल के रहते हैं, और इधर ऐसा कोई परेशानी नहीं होती। वही जो मैंने पहले बोला कि पॉलिटिशियन लोग खाली है ना पीसफुल रहे, सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करे, मतलब हर एरिया, हर सिटी को, उतना ही काफी है।
Abhinay, you're getting very interesting perspectives from the ground, and I must thank you because you've got two very important big points from the ground level where people are saying why they are frustrated and upset with the entire political system after there has
we got some youngsters also who are just staring at the camera, but they didn't get voting, but still voting भेटलं तुम्हाला? कुठे गेले वोटिंग? कुठे गेले वोटिंग?
शाळा ना, म्युन्सिपालिटी शाळा.
अच्छा,
तिकडे
बोलतो का?
गेला.
Are you first time voters?
तू फर्स्ट टाइम वोट केला का?
नाही, सेकंड टाइम.
म्हणजे लोकसभामध्ये केला होता का?
हा, गेल्या टाइम.
म्हणजे पहिला असेंब्लीमध्ये वोट करायला तुम्ही?
हा, म्हणजे ते विधानसभा इलेक्शन आहे ना,
हो.
या वर्षी गेल्या टाइम.
काय वय आपलं?
माझं
हा.
19
आहे, म्हणजे लोकसभामध्ये पहिल्यांदा केली आणि आता विधानसभामध्ये करायला
सेकंड टाइम केला.
सेकंड टाइम वोटिंग. काय वाटतंय, म्हणजे कसं वाटलं तुम्हाला?
खूप छान वाटलं मला. आणि
हिंदीमध्ये बोल.
नहीं मला खूप मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा कि मेरा सेकेंड टाइम वोटिंग था और आगे भी ऐसा कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला तो मैं और करूँगा और
एज अ
बस
यंगस्टर तुम्हें क्या मुद्दे लगते हैं?
मुद्दे मुद्दे अच्छे मतलब मैं मानता हूँ कभी कभी मेरे को जो लगता है मैं मेरी मुझे जो भूमिका पड़ती है हम उस हिसाब से करते हैं
अच्छा।
जो हम मुझे विचार जो मेरे जो बोलते ना विचार रखने के रहते मैं मुद्दे वही मानता हूँ और वही करता हूँ जो मेरे दिल में लगता है
आप अभी टेक्निकली आप फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर हो, ये शिवसेना दो में बट जाने के बाद या एनसीपी दो में बट जाने के बाद तुम पहली बार वोट डाल चुके हो, तो यू हैव विटनेस्ड इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम कि एक पार्टीज कैसा स्प्लिट होते हैं वगैरह, तो आपका उस पर क्या मानना है, क्या बोलना है?
मैं कुछ नहीं वही राजकारण वो हो रहा है अभी उनके हिसाब से हो रहा है जो बड़े बैठे हैं अभी उनको मैं कुछ बोल तो नहीं सकता अभी मैं एक बोलते ना कॉमन मैन हूँ तो मैं कुछ कर नहीं
नहीं, बट
सकता
तुम्हारे पास तो आज का दिन तुम्हारा दिन है।
हाँ और मैंने वही तो बोला मैं मेरे मर्जी से चलने जाता था मैंने किया तो यही है अभी कोई मेरे को बोलेगा ये कर वो कर नहीं भाई मेरी मर्जी मेरा वोट मैं डाल दूंगा यस दैट्स व्हाई
आपका नाम नहीं बताया आप?
मेरा नाम नीलेश वाघमारे
नीलेश वाघमारे, थैंक यू। आप क्या करते हो?
मैं अभी स्टडीज कर रहा हूँ मैं 13 में हूँ
अच्छा,
और
ओके,
फुटबॉल
थैंक
खेलता
यू,
हूँ
थैंक यू, ग्रेट टॉकिंग टू। अच्छा, आप फुटबॉल खेलते हो इसलिए आपका पूरा
ये
ग्रुप
मेरे
है, ये
Abhinay,
पूरे।
now we would like to bring you in the picture
जय
because
जय
these are very
महाराष्ट्र
interesting voices you have been able to get for us. But
थैंक
now
यू।
we want to listen to you.
या
You've been able to get why people are frustrated, why they are upset. You've been able to get how democracy functions, the basic expectations that people have out of their public representatives. You know, at a time when roles are being promised by everyone, the electorate is telling the representatives that it is not the roles that are important, but the basic issues of providing safety, security to all its citizens at par. Those are very
एग्जैक्टली।
interesting voices you're getting for us, Abhinay. But since we are running out of time, I have just 3 minutes for you
या
to
बट
take
या
us through the issues of Vidarbha. You have
या
traversed Vidarbha in the last few days. What are your observations?
Yeah, exactly. So now, whatever he has said, Mr. Salim has said, those were the urban issues. Whereas for the past 1 week or 10 days, I've been traveling across Vidarbha. I have seen people, they have different voices. One, like Vidarbha is the region which it is like you have said earlier, it's one of the interesting regions in the state where the relevance of regional parties is relatively low when compared with the national parties. The war is between BJP and Congress, and you can in the few pockets you can see like in Yavatmal or in Ramtek you can see the influence of regional parties. So the impact of which is the real Shiv Sena or which is the real NCP, we may not get it from the Vidarbha region, but it would speak the national issues, how the people are seeing, despite being the headquarters for the ideological, like RSS, the ideological backbone of BJP. The Congress was it was a Congress bastion until it was breached by the Bharatiya Janata Party 10 years ago in the 2024 2014 assembly elections, and since then the fight is anyway the fight is between only two national parties, and the issues which I found in Vidarbha region were completely different. The impact of Ladki Bahan Yojana was yes, there was an impact of Ladki Bahan Yojana. Like our colleague Snehal has rightly said, people are talking about Ladki Bahan Yojana, but at the same time, they are saying 1500 rupees, like to literal translation in English, it's like they gave us 1500 rupees, but they are taking away like 4500, 1500. They are like 1500 rupees dile and tur dal is like around 140, 150 rupees. Women are talking, women are, this election, like the last assembly, Lok Sabha election, which where I have traveled across Vidarbha and Marathwada. Similarly, similar to the last election, women are talking during this election, and women voters are going to play a very crucial role. And agrarian distress is major in Vidarbha. Like farmers, they are talking everywhere. Like I've traveled in Yautmal, Chandrapur, Gadchiroli, suburbs of like Nagpur and other places. And one common thing, there was one common thing which was soybean and cotton. Like we have reported it, like even opposition is talking, ruling parties are talking about giving financial aid to soybean farmers. Soybean plays a very crucial, like soybean is a very, I would say, like Nashik has onion as a political crop. In Vidarbha, cotton and soybean are the political crop which would change the political
Is there a
dynamics
fear,
of the region.
Abhinay? Is there a fear? Quick question. Is there a fear
Yeah.
that soya bean is the new onion in this election season. Is that what seems to be scaring the Mahayuti? Because we've seen the kind of clamoring that went around as soon as Rahul Gandhi and Kharge spoke of 7,000 MSP. We saw
Exactly.
how the BJP quickly jumped into the whole arena, which we had not seen during the last time when the
Exactly.
full
Yes.
onion debate happened.
Debate is happening like after Modi spoke about Rahul Gandhi spoke about it and Modi spoke about it. I went on the ground to see the reaction of people, like how they are receiving their statements. Like Rahul Gandhi has said they would give 7,000 rupees per quintal, and Modi did not announce a number, but Union Agriculture Minister during a press conference in Vidarbha region said that they are already giving 5,000 rupees additional financial aid to soybean hectare per hectare to soybean farmers. But definitely this is the issue, like you are rightly said, it is the onion crop of Vidarbha, no doubt, because not just soybean, Vinaya, but even cotton, like you know, cotton also plays a very crucial role. And I've been told, and we have seen this, like at least though Vidarbha has 62 constituencies, soybean can impact 70 constituencies across Vidarbha, Marathwada, and some parts of North Maharashtra. Sorry, I said Telangana. North Maharashtra. Yes.
You've been crisscrossing between Telangana and
Yeah.
Maharashtra,
So I'm a
so
hybrid person.
you're
So
forgiven.
yeah. Yeah, these are the major issues, but Vidarbha is going to be one of the interesting battles between the national parties. I would stress again, regional parties are in Mumbai with the Konkan region and everywhere, including Marathwada. But Vidarbha is going to be a battle between only two national parties. Thank you. That's all from my end.
How
If
do
you have
you
any questions,
see
yeah.
how do you see the seat sharing talks having impact on this battle between Congress and the BJP? Because we've seen the kind of tension that happened during the seat sharing talks as well, the kind of seats that were expected by each alliance for itself. How
Yes.
has that panned out, and how has the fight panned out thereafter?
To be like, if I had to quote a Congress leader, a very senior Congress leader, he had told us that seat sharing has badly impacted them. They were planning to contest at least 125 seats. Now they ended up contesting around less than around 100 seats. If they had, they were hoping more seats from Vidarbha region. The Congress was hoping more seats from Vidarbha region. Definitely, the I would say seat sharing had an impact on decision, but at the same time, that was if I had put it, it was a boardroom discussion. Seat sharing was a boardroom, mostly a boardroom discussion, but on the ground, despite not having a clarity on who would get a seat. If, for instance, we would take X constituency and there were two contenders from the alliance, Mahavikas Agadi or Mahayuti, two from each. All the four were working that they might have a, because this is a micro level election, unlike Lok Sabha. Yeah,
Abhinay, thank you so much. We've grossly overshot the time, and I
no
am really
problem.
sorry that I have to cut this conversation here. I assure you that on 23rd we will have a much bigger
Definitely.
discussion
No, no,
on
no
all
doubt
our
about it.
observations. Thank you so much
Yes.
for getting us all those amazing voices from Kolaba. And let me take just 1 minute now to bring in my colleague Purnima, who's joining us from KC College in Kolaba. That is where she is standing at Churchgate. I beg your pardon. She is telling us the issues that Mumbai had raised for the 36 seats of Vidhan Sabha that that contest is being fought on. Purnima, I am
Good
afraid
evening.
there's just 1 minute remaining for you. If you can quickly tell us what are the issues that you found prevalent among the Mumbaikars this time.
We covered multiple places in Mumbai and also adjacent areas in Mumbai, and where we come across the issues of housing, rehabilitation, and air pollution is quite prevailing in these areas, and people want cleaner air, people want better homes. And would you like to speak to someone who is here? We already lost people who were waiting for us.
Oh, yes, sure. You can get one voice.
Yeah, yeah. Maria, can you? Huh. So we have Maria with us. She is a sanitary worker. and she has been living in Mumbai for a very long time. तो आप बता सकते हो कि आप यहाँ पे वोट डालते हो? एक just a second, I'll just figure out the camera. I'll just leave it. आप यहाँ पे कितने साल से वोट डाल रहे हो?
5 साल से।
अच्छा, आपके क्या क्या क्यों?
मतलब हम फुटपाथ पे रहते हैं ना, हमको घर नहीं है।
अच्छा, और आपकी क्या क्या मतलब किस किस लिए वोट डाल रहे हैं आप, उसके बारे में बताइए, क्या चाहिए?
हम तो घर के लिए ही वोट डाल रहे हैं।
घर के लिए कितने साल से रहते हो आप यहाँ?
बहुत साल से। मतलब हमारे जो मम्मी पापा थे ना, उनके भी मम्मी पापा रहते हैं जब से रहे।
क्या काम करते हैं?
मैं तो झाड़ू मारती हूँ।
अच्छा, आप हर साल वोट डालते हो?
हाँ।
ओके Okay, so Maria could speak
This is
really.
very interesting, and I must thank you for getting this perspective, Purnima, because it is important to get all segments, voices from all segments, particularly from women. And this is the first woman we have on our show today to talk about, irrespective of whatever she feels about it, whether she is able to cogently put across her points or not. It is an extremely important point that you got her to say what it meant for her, what this entire voting process meant for her. That's a special thank you note for you, Purnima. I'm afraid we have to wrap
Thank
up
you.
this show here, but thank you so much for that voice. We will catch up with you again on the 23rd with your perspectives on how battleground Mumbai looked to you when you traveled across it. But as of now, thank you so much. So, viewers, here are the pictures that we brought for you from our reporters who traveled across the length and breadth of the country, of the state of Maharashtra, in order to get you the ground reports and to get you the ground realities at a time when these are unprecedented elections for the state of Maharashtra. And now, moving on, while we have seen the ground reports, we now have an expert on board. I am being joined by Professor Suhas Palshikar, who's the Chief Editor of Studies in Indian Politics, who has taught political science at Savitribai Phule Pune University, and who has been my teacher in the past as well. Sir, thank you so much for
Thank you.
your precious time for speaking
I
to the
thought
Hindu.
I thought you were skipping that part that you were speaking.
I wouldn't dare to, sir. Thank you so much, sir. We just had our team of reporters who spoke about their
Yes, yes.
experiences from Marathwada, from Vidarbha, from the city of Mumbai. The ground sense seems to be that people are openly talking about agrarian distress. People are talking about soybean, about cotton, and though Maji Ladki Bahin has had an impact, the Mahayuti has been banking on it. We've seen that women are also speaking about asking the government questions, saying, "So what? You've given us 1,500.
Yes.
So what? You've taken away a lot more than you've given us." What is your sense of this election?
Complicated, as everyone would know, and everyone has been probably talking about. If you have 6 parties that have cobbled up 2 coalitions, nobody is happy in the coalitions. As a result of that, the picture would always be very complicated. This election, or in a sense, the backdrop of this election began in the shadow of Lok Sabha election. And as such, the Mahavikas Aghadi, particularly the Congress, were upbeat, thinking that they have an upper hand, forgetting probably that their lead was barely 1% in the Lok Sabha. And since that time on, both the coalitions have tried to bring up as many different issues as possible. My sense was that around September, October, both alliances were clueless about how to organize their campaigns. And then on, when the elections were announced, various acrimonious issues have emerged over the past few weeks.
So, when you say that, it reminds me, because we are here on field seeing that confusion pan out between the alliances. You initially spoke about how, they've cobbled up between two alliances and nobody seems to be happy. Let me also add another point to it. Nobody inside and outside the alliance are happy. The voters are equally
Oh, yes.
unhappy with the kind of splits that have happened. This is the first time that, Lok Sabha, we've all talked about it, but Lok Sabha is always a national level election. Things may not reflect in terms of what people feel at the state level during the national election. So, in that sense, after 2019, this is the first time that Maharashtra goes to polls in an extremely fragmented political situation where the
Yes.
two strong regional parties have now split, have become a part of national alliances which are in completely opposite directions. So for the first time we probably have the NCP sitting with the BJP. The election commission says this is the real NCP. Shiv Sena and BJP we have always seen in PAN. This is the first time we see a Shiv Sena sitting with the Congress really. So, in terms of the voters' anger and in terms of how the polity has shaped after these unusual alliances, how do you see this picture?
I think the anger of the voters must have by now converted itself into a cynicism that nothing really is going to happen. Nobody knows who will do what. If you look at the manifestos of both the alliances, they are in a sense reining different schemes, as a result of which there is no focus. No alliance is saying that this particular part of the electorate is our voter and we will cater to that voter segment. They are not saying that. Instead, they are trying to create a larger umbrella of voters under which they can probably win the election. And I guess for that precisely that reason, voters are unhappy because no voter thinks that this alliance belongs to them.
Does it also mean that the ground is slipping from under all the political parties' feet really? Because nobody is able to get a
Yes, in
grasp
fact, in
about
a
who
sense,
their core voters are.
sure. They don't know, they don't want to know also because they are in a hurry to get a majority in the assembly. In a sense, this was a perfect ground for any political party in the last 4 months to cultivate a constituency, cultivate an identity, and then go for the elections. But they didn't do that. As a result of that, as the campaign picked up, you find that, and everybody has reported this. I'm not saying this as a something very new. Extreme localization. Though localization is always a hallmark of assembly elections, this time around, my sense is that party just doesn't matter much to the voters. It is just the local candidate, the local issues, and how the local candidate relates to the voters. That probably remains the only thing as far as one can observe.
That's an interesting point you make, sir. This is also the time when the legacy battle is still raging. And when you say that,
Yes.
for people, it is the candidate, it is the local issue that matters. How do you think will it reflect on the legacy battle for a Shiv Sena, for an NCP? Because we have seen their electoral performances during Lok Sabha, but several people say that a lot of water has flown under the bridge since Lok Sabha elections, and so that really cannot be the benchmark as of now. How do you see this hyper localization of Maharashtra Vidhan Sabha elections reflecting into the kitties of these political parties?
Both will find it very tough, but I guess between the two, it would be the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray, which would find it very difficult because their traditional plank of Marathi identity was on a low key this time. They tried to appeal to the agrarian distress issue in rural areas, and one doesn't know how that resonates with the voters. In the case of the NCP, on the other hand, I think it is Ajit Pawar's faction that lost steam. In fact, it didn't pick steam even during Lok Sabha election, and they would find it very tough to sustain and become a regional force after the assembly elections. I know
So,
that
in fact,
one is sticking his neck out when the election results are just 48 hours away or 72 hours away, and we don't know what will happen on Saturday. But as of now my sense is that this is the picture.
So that is exactly the ground sense that we get when we are on field. But the first point that you talked about Uddhav Thackeray, let me get back to that point. Not only about the Marathi Asmita issue, but also with respect to Hindutva. The biggest criticism against Uddhav Thackeray this time by the Mahayuti, specifically so by the BJP and Eknath Shinde, was that the voters for Uddhav Thackeray have moved. The Muslim community has started voting more for Uddhav Thackeray, and therefore Uddhav Thackeray has lost the Hindutva plank. So, on one hand, we saw that the Marathi Asmita Mudda was absent from campaign, probably because Mumbai, which has been the breeding ground for the Shiv Sena for years on, there has been a demographic profile change over the last few years. But also, do you think that this was in terms of a lack of sense of direction about which issues will appeal to its voters this time on?
If you look at the career of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, you will find that he has always been generally more cautious on communal Hindutva or communalization of the electorate. Though he certainly inherited a particular legacy of the party, he tried to sort of use it, appropriate it, but keep a distance. His major failure, however, not just now but over time, has been to redefine what he means to be a Hindu identity. He could have, and he had a golden opportunity, particularly when he split with the BJP, to say that yes, I talk of Hindus, but I have different kind of Hindu identity in my mind. He couldn't do it. He didn't have probably the time to do it either, because by the time he became the chief minister, he was overwhelmed by the COVID assault, and then there was a split. But in politics, you can't have excuses. And I think, therefore, this ideological limitation of Uddhav Thackeray probably might have created some confusion in his core constituency of Hindu voters in Mumbai and around about this departure from ideology. Elsewhere, I think he has consistently, even before, I mean, splitting from the BJP, he has been talking about agrarian issues, talking about larger issues, and therefore he still could have a better chance to organize his party, which probably he was not able to capture.
So you said politics, there can be no excuses in politics. Do you think that Eknath Shinde took this up literally and turned to be that dark horse in Maharashtra politics whose fortunes really changed from the time he split, the way we all saw, it panning out, to the way things have panned out? We saw how during Lok Sabha seat sharing talks as well, Eknath Shinde got a lot bigger share than was anticipated. Uh, do you look at Eknath Shinde as that one person who thought that this was his opportunity and decided to not squander it?
Yes, if you look at just one person, mind you, because in long run, Uddhav Thackeray realized that being with BJP is going to be a hazard to him, to his politics, and to the party. But in such moments, one individual can, in a sense, capture that moment, grab the opportunity, and benefit temporarily. I wouldn't think that, therefore, that in the long run, this other Shiv Sena, or if you want to call it official, because the Honorable Election Commission has decided that it is the official Shiv Sena, then Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena would still be in the shadow of the BJP. It may win seats, it may, in a sense, be smarter than Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray for the time being. In the long run, it will be swallowed up. And that problem is, in a sense, a problem for a party like Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray that wants to continue for a longer time. For someone who wants to grab the moment of opportunity only, momentary opportunity, yes, Eknath Shinde might have a sort of advantage right now. We don't know who will have the last laugh. Probably the BJP will have the last laugh.
So, you are no oracle, I know, but I just can't help asking you this question, really. Looking at the trajectory, everyone says that this election will be crucial to decide the fate of both the splits. So, though Ajit Pawar is the official NCP, though Eknath Shinde is the official Shiv Sena, how crucial are these elections to decide their fate, and what do you think it will be, particularly with respect to a Shiv Sena, because it has split. uh, Uddhav Thackeray has made it amply clear that there is no way that he's taking people back, and he's building his own line of leadership in their place. The way of return for Eknath Shinde certainly looks to be shut as of now. So, in that sense, how far will it go?
As I said, for both these factions, the Ajit Pawar faction of NCP and the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena, they are going with the BJP obviously means that they would be continuously in the shadow of the BJP. BJP definitely wants to create its dominance in politics of Maharashtra and uses them, and therefore for them it is going to be tough. However you look at it, they might get good number of seats on Saturday, they might not. If they don't get seats, then they plunge into darkness immediately. If they get good number of seats on Saturday, they might have a lease of life maybe for a year or two, but over time, the strategy of the BJP, not just in Maharashtra, but overall, right from 1996, since it started forming coalitions, has been to neutralize state level forces to create space for itself. The BJP would want to create a space for itself. So, what happens to Janata Dal S in Karnataka, or what happens to various other state level parties, is awaiting the NCP led by Ajit Pawar and Shiv Sena led by Eknath Shinde, irrespective of the results on Saturday.
So, on the other hand, then, was it a smarter decision for Uddhav Thackeray, for Sharad Pawar, to fight in an alliance like this? Why I ask you is also because this has been an extremely interesting election where, on ground, we have seen that none of the parties have campaigned as a part of an alliance, really. May it be Mahayuti, may it be Mahavikas Aghadi. We have seen each party campaign for itself, speak about itself, and that split or that difference has been evident with respect to Mahavikas Aghadi quite strongly as compared to the Lok Sabha election, where it had been able to get its act together. In that sense, is it that watershed moment for Sharad Pawar and for Uddhav Thackeray to prove how they conduct themselves ahead? And whether this will mean that the Mahavikas Aghadi will continue to be in the same form as it was till before the election.
This includes too many questions, really, Vinaya. Sharad Pawar, on his part, right from 2014, has been sort of toying with this idea how close he should go to the BJP and how far he should remain. And he continuously made a choice to remain distant from the BJP,
That is why
in
those
spite of the fact
revelations
that
in between about the Adani residents meeting, the denial, the
sure,
acceptance.
exactly. As a result of his distancing from the BJP, he has suddenly become the fulcrum of non BJP forces in the state because he has that capability and he has used that capability, leveraged it. Uddhav Thackeray realized it much later. You would recall that right from 2014, life of the BJP Shiv Sena Yuti, within the BJP Shiv Sena Yuti, was never very happy. They were
Yes.
unhappy with each other, but they went on
To an extent
separating,
where
went on
Eknath
coming
Shinde
together,
had
and it was
famously
only in
talked
20.
about taking the resignation letter in his pocket and saying that he can't tolerate it anymore. To see it completely contrasting this
Sure,
time on.
absolutely. But looking at the advertisements in the newspapers, etc., full page advertisements, uh, Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray must be feeling happy that even if they lose on Saturday, they would have retained their separate identity as political parties. Whereas the full page advertisements where Modi and Devendra Fadnavis have been flashed, you look at the size that Eknath Shinde has been reduced to. So it's not very easy to be a chief minister fighting a battle of elections and then getting reduced to a small square in a full page advertisement. Ajit Pawar, on his part, knows this game, and therefore he has been clearly indicating that ideologically he doesn't belong to what the BJP is talking about. I think that is something very smart that Ajit Pawar has done, and Eknath Shinde has absolutely ignored that problem, that his identity is submerged both ideologically and politically into the BJP. So yes, for Sharad Pawar's party and Uddhav Thackeray's party, irrespective of the results, this would be a probably in retrospect for them a good move to have moved away, and not only moved away, but to have cobbled up a separate coalition called the Mahavikas Aghadi. Because when you have a dominant party or a party that is emerging a dominant party, the only option others have is to form, however clumsy, coalitions.
But these clumsy coalitions, so this time will probably look much stronger. The sense that field reports give right now is that it's a neck to neck fight, that, both the alliances will probably have to slog it out and may not see, or may just about see, being able to get that complete majority by itself. Do you think that independents and rebels will be the key this time to the formation of government? And B, which is a corollary, obvious, I'm stating the obvious, and you would hate me for this, I know, because you hate being asked the obvious questions, but does it mean that Mahayuti or Mahavikas Aghadi stand any chance to get a complete majority by themselves?
Okay, before we go into that, just quick going a step backward, this clumsy coalition, as I called the Mahavikas Aghadi, it actually received an identity thanks to the BJP. Because suddenly the BJP started giving advertisements why they should not be a Mahavikas Aghadi. The text of the advertisement actually says why there should be no Mahavikas Aghadi. And by saying that, the BJP, in a sense, imposed upon the Mahavikas Aghadi an identity which they themselves were unable to carve out. In the last few days of the campaign, the shrill Hindutva communalization that the BJP brought into made it very easy for the Mahavikas Aghadi to then emerge as an alternative to this shrillness, this acrimony, and this communalization. Coming to your question, yes, there is every possibility that whoever wins the so-called majority, that is to say, whichever coalition becomes the larger coalition in the state, might in all likelihood have to depend upon rebels, independents, and smaller parties. This is a 1995 like situation where you would have a large number of MLAs who do not belong to the major parties in the fray, and therefore any party, any chief minister will have to do a tightrope walk, satisfy these independents and rebels, and it would really be a surprise if independents don't have any role in the next couple of years in the state of Maharashtra.
Does it also mean that we would see horse trading after the 23rd?
We have been seeing horse trading for the last 2 years as well, 2.5 years. It was wholesale, so you won't call it horse trading. But if you get two major parties clearly split through straight away, then there has to be a horse trading. If you get so many threats of various investigative agencies and suddenly people change their heart and become pro this party or anti that party,
Pro
there has to be
progress,
some kind of
pro
a
progress
quid
and pro development.
well, yes.
The change of heart is not because of anything else, as we recently saw due to the release of a book by a senior journalist. the controversy that it managed to create over why people moved from one side to another, and whether it was pressure of the central agencies or whether
Sure.
it was a change of heart for progress and development. So, a few last questions, Dolly. You spoke about the kind of divisive communal agenda that the BJP brought in Maharashtra elections during the last leg of the campaign. Do you think this whole "batoge to katoge, ek hai to safe hai" was a self goal by the BJP, that it was not able to find out what was the narrative that will work in a state like Maharashtra?
You must remember, and everyone must remember, whether they like it or not, the BJP has never sort of disguised its Hindutva line. It has never disguised that. And its Hindutva has always meant a Hindu unity vis a vis non Hindus, particularly the Muslims. So in Maharashtra also, they have been consistently trying this, but not formally and not frontally. They started with development, and therefore there were a number of inaugurations and various other launches by the Prime Minister in the run up to the announcement of elections. Then they started talking of Ladki Bain as a game changer. When they realized that it might not be a game changer altogether, then they fell back on their core identity. But that core identity has always been there, as I would keep arguing for last 2 years. And you must have observed this, your colleagues must have observed this. This communalization has been taking place in Maharashtra. The BJP may not have officially and formally indulged in it, but the moment Mr. Devendra Fadnavis mentioned some Muslim youth as Aurangzeb ki aulad, I think the die was cast, because then everyone knew that finally it is this formal division of the society into Hindus and Muslims that is going to be the major ideological plank for the BJP.
So, thank you so much. This has been an extremely interesting conversation. There are so many questions that I had actually been wanting to ask you, maybe with respect to OBC, Maratha, the vote polarization, the way the traditional vote bank distribution has really shifted, how the BJP tried to tap into the smaller communities this time in order to make sure that at least from somewhere they get the votes. But I really urge and hope that on 23rd you keep some time for us and that we are able to discuss all
I,
these issues.
23rd, I won't keep time on 23rd, because on 23rd we would be preparing a write-up for Hindu, your own readers, based on our election survey. So please wait for that rather than rush me on 23rd.
Thank you so much, sir. Then I'll catch you on 24th while you write that for our readers on the 23rd.
Sure,
But
sure.
thank you so much for this enlightening conversation. And my dear viewers, it has been a pleasure to be in conversation with Suhas Palshikar, sir, as always, who has had pearls of wisdom, his vast experience while teaching as well as covering the polity of India, of Maharashtra, has been able to bring about a lot of granular perspective with respect to how Maharashtra looks like, even as voting continues in Maharashtra. Remember, there's still an hour to go before voting closes. We will see the final voting percentages in some time now, whether the voter apathy in urban areas continues. Gadchiroli, by the way, continues to be that district with the highest voting percentage till now, keeping up with its tradition. So we will continue with this conversation with respect to Picture Maharashtra here on the Hindu website and on its social media broadcast through the next 3 days. As of now, thank you so much for watching and for connecting with us. Thank you so much, Parshikar sir, for sparing your time.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.